I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you a go love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick-Nick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick-Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Hello. Good afternoon and howdy do to you all. How you doing? It's been a while we have done this, people. It's been a little bit a while we have done that. I straighten up my hat and see if I can look a little bit presentable for the masses. It's been a while we have been here and I am sure sports. I know the name you are seeing on the screen says Manning's Man, but I am Pioneer and we are here. It's been a while we have done one of these shows. This is around the NBA. We are here to discuss some basketball and I am sure sports. It's been a very, very long and intriguing season in the NBA. And now we are at the business end of the season, people, so to speak. We are now in the playing games. We have had the first 2 rounds of the playing already, and now we are looking forward to the final round tomorrow. We'll have the loser of the 7-8 matchup, both in the East and the West, playing the winner of the 9-10 matchup. So as it stands right now, we are looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Oklahoma City Thunders, and we have the Miami Heat up against the Chicago Bulls, and that will determine the 8 seeds in the East and the 8 seed in the West. These teams will be going up against the 1 seed in the East, which at this time is the much fancied Milwaukee Bucks, and the 1 seed in the West, who is the Denver Nuggets, who have been flying high all season. But let us step a little back before we go forward, people. It's been an intriguing NBA season. Some thrills, some spills, a lot of intrigue throughout the season. A lot of movements happening in the NBA this season, a lot of trades. some of them successful for teams, some of them a bit more disappointing for some of the teams. One that comes to mind readily and handily is Kyrie Irving being traded to the Dallas Mavericks. A team, it is almost astounding that a team that is made up of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic could conceivably not even make the play-in tournament, which, as you know, is top 10 in the conference. Quite disappointing that this would happen. We've been joined immediately, people, by my virgin G-Star. Serial sniper, I want to call him. Having just, in the last hour or two, taking a scalp on air on national radio. Big up G-Star. Congratulations, my virgin, on your victory in the debate.
All in
the Yeah, I expected that from your virgin. I wouldn't have had it any other way. And truth be told, you were the most, you presented the best argument. Even though, as I said, we are on opposite sides of the argument, but I thought your presentation was very, very good. We're also being joined by a couple other people, Sons and Sons and CP3 final win. How that, Chris Lynch. And we're being joined by my virgin Garvey also. Saying, Garvey, welcome for the first time to Around the NBA. I know you have made your debut on I Am Sure Sports as a NFL expert, which indeed I think you are. But now you are being baptized, brother, in the NBA. Cool.
Yes, sir.
You on the side, you don't play around,
Forgive me fried chicken sound here, so I'm in my kitchen.
Not a problem, man. What you do? The food for eat, as them would have said.
Yes, sir. G-Star.
Well, go on.
Congrats, man.
Gunners boss, who is in the comment section, saying congratulations, G-Star. Hold on, I'm going to put it up, people, so you can see it. For humiliating erection. No, humiliating erection on the sports yesterday. All right. Bless up Pioneer and G-Star. Yeah, man, Gunners boss, you know, no brother, maximum respect. But gentlemen, as I was stating earlier, it's been a very intriguing regular season in the NBA. And now we are onto the business end of the season. Some intriguing and interesting matchups await in the playoffs. But before we get there, we have a couple of playing games to look forward to tomorrow. So let me start it right there. I'm gonna give you gentlemen a chance to comment on what has gone so far in the playing and tell me what you're expecting to transpire in the final two playing game. Yeah, I'll baptize you. Yeah, start the thing, brother.
You think you're right? Let me go before the champ.
No, man. I see if
champ, yeah, give me the floor.
It's a baptism, man. So
all right. Yeah, man. The games them been tight, man. I think the least convincing of all the winners has been the Lakers, ain't it?
It's been four closely and keenly contested game so far.
Right.
So let's give me your synopsis, Gavin.
The first game, boy, disappointing play by Miami. They came out very, very flat. Very flat. We can't believe that. But them have another chance coming up to redeem themselves. So who knows? They might get it right. The Lakers, as I said, I was not impressed. Not impressed at all. Well, for parts of the game, I'm impressed. But the man I'm going to say is a LeBron hater. I just don't see the fluidity in the team when LeBron is there to make consistent plays in the fourth quarter against good teams. Like for the last 5 minutes, consistent plays when we say, yeah, they're running the same play and it's effective over and over. You know what I mean? I don't see that in the Lakers. And then the other two games were, the Bulls, very impressive win. I was not surprised though, because I think the Bulls have been coming along for the last couple of seasons, and it's only fair if you said them when I get a little run at the playoff, yeah. And the guard play in Oklahoma was just too much for the Pelicans. They had overwhelming guard play right there. They got what, like 60-something points on them backcourt. Yeah, they kill them. They kill them at the backcourt play. So the interesting thing about Miami doing, Miami lost that game by giving up 20-something offensive rebounds. I don't know if this team where them are gonna play will be able to dominate them like that. And I mean, even though they gave up 20-something offensive rebounds, they only lost by less than 10. So I wouldn't write them off yet.
Bulls, it's gonna be Miami versus the Bulls. So
yeah, the Bulls.
You're going with Miami in that. Miami has home court, having lost on their home court on Tuesday. They now have another chance to redeem themselves at home versus the Chicago Bulls come tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you're rolling with Miami for that.
No. Me not gonna reveal my hand yet, Pioneer.
All right.
Yeah.
One time I give him hand close to him chest. So
yeah, me really not make a decision on any of the games, to be honest. Me I gotta do some studying on them tonight.
all right, not a problem. G-Star,
Yeah.
give me your synopsis of what's going on in terms of playing so far, and how you preview the two remaining games in the play.
All right, so because when the playing game, during the courses come aboard, but how it's working out right now, I love it. The regular season has been exciting coming down the stretch, and then now these games pretty much have been good, right? The Lakers game was good, the Miami game was this. All the games for me, Toronto Raptors couldn't get it done.
Breaking up a little bit, G-Star. I don't know if you're a little
Yeah.
far from your mic or so, but you're not coming
Oh,
through
break it
clear.
out.
Yeah, it's true.
You sound clear. You sound much clearer
Let me try
when
to
it was
go.
yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Better now?
Garvey, you
Yeah,
need
man,
glasses, man. You're squinting.
Chris Lynch.
Yeah, man. You're coming
You
through
can hear
much
me now,
clearer.
Pioneer?
Yeah, man. I'm hearing you clear now.
All right. So basically, I'm extremely disappointed that the Toronto Raptors didn't get it done. It seemed like Nick Nurse have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Well, that's the word on the street. And regarding the Bulls, congratulations to them. They played well. Moving forward against Miami. That's another tough one still, because the Bulls, I like the Bulls combination of DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, because I'm never, Bam Adebayor, to me, Bam Adebayor is not aggressive enough. He's too passive. I said it all the time. I think I probably said the same thing about 2 years straight now, Pioneer. It's probably the third time I'm saying this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Bam needs some offensive dog in him, because he has the game for it, but he doesn't have the attitude. Him have attitude like? Him have kind of like an AD attitude. Very nonchalant, go about in business. If I score.
He wants AD at the Pelicans, kind of. He wants AD at the
No,
Pelicans.
I want to Bam go out there and dominate.
No, man. I'm just.
No, but AD at the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm
but we know that AD is still not a dog.
Repeat that, G-Star.
Yeah, we know AD is not a dog.
Okay.
AD is not a dog. Bam Adebayor needs to be a downright dog where this one dominate. Right? Because he is that
Playing
good.
like how he played in 2020.
It's a Jimmy Butler though. I think that it's rare Jimmy Butler has 2 back-to-back bad games. Knowing Jimmy Butler. That's going to be an interesting game against those 2 wings, DeRozan and LaVine. In the West, OKC, who they playing against? OKC versus Minnesota.
Minnesota.
So Rudy Gobert will be back. Yeah, Rudy Gobert will be back. for me, you see, when you're a star, you rarely have back-to-back bad games in it. And I think Ant-Man, he's going to watch the film, and I think he's going to come out better, and I think he's going to have a better game. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a boss, no doubt about it, big baller. He's averaging 30 points in it, so it should be surprising what he's doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, though, give me Ant-Man. Give me Ant-Man. So should be a fantastic game, though. It's a pick'em game. Both pick'em games.
All right. Chris, before I come to you, I'm going to pick up some
G-Star, stop the showing off, man. Who is Ant-Man?
in the comment section, man. Anthony Edwards, he's referring to
Anthony Edwards.
For the we could pick up some.
Why couldn't hit the broadside of a band the other night?
Pick up late Cornwall. One pick up Killer Greens. Killer Greens. I wonder which one of the Killer Greens have. Killer Greens remind us that Lakers are the only home team that won. One pick up Blackheart Radio, who is trying to present an argument, G-Star, that are you sure that it's because he presented the best arguments, or it's because he's an elite? I think if Blackheart Radio, I think if you were listening to the debate, I think even the most biased of correction fan would agree that G-Star did present the better argument in that debate. So, one big up my virgin, Ricky 10, saying, big up yourself, Ricky 10. Welcome to the stream, my virgin. Good for you. Chris.
Yeah, man. Bless up the man, then, man. G-Star. Congratulations, brother.
Saying, Chris, give me a synopsis on what has transpired so far in the playing and preview the two games we will see tomorrow.
Yeah, man, the appetizers for the playoffs has been really great, and we have two more to go. Can't complain. Some perfect appetizers, yeah. Hawks with the upset against Miami. Most people would think that Miami should have won that game, especially news was breaking that day when that game was going to play that Trae Young was a part of any Trae Young name would be a part of names that can be traded in the organization.
Cost me a bet, Chris. As you know, I initially selected the Hawks for that game, and because of that news, switch my bet. Because I thought that would have been kind of disruptive to the Hawks locker room. But
and that tells you something about the Hawks and Trae Young, because they did come out and they basically smashed Miami on the boards. Was something like what, 60 at the 30 at something, basically just smashing them on the boards. Miami just seems like they couldn't get a rebound, and I think that was the difference in the game. Every time Miami looked like they were coming back, Jimmy Butler didn't look himself. Bam just like what G-Star stated earlier, just didn't look like he was up for it. And they played the game like they knew that they had one more chance. While Hawks seems like they think that it was a one and done situation. and they played it like such. And I think the Hawks deservedly win it. And then later in the night, Minnesota looked like they were up for the upset, basically playing the better basketball against Lakers, and just couldn't get the job done. Anthony Edwards, I guess you must give him credit. He played earth. Didn't have the best of nights, but he played earth, and a lot of superstars could have easily sit out the game, knowing that he was hurt, and probably could have just sit out the game. But he toughed it out, and his shooting was off. Shots that he would have probably normally make in the regular season just didn't fall. So,
Chris, 1 second, Chris. That is a bit of news, because I didn't hear that news that he was hurt. And the follow-up to that,
if you look at the shoulder. What
is the status for tomorrow's game?
Obviously, he's going to play. He's not.
No, man.
They're going to have him as questionable, but it's not an injury that rule him out in a Pioneer. It's just one of those niggling on the shoulder. And to make it worse, I don't know if you see that play where Anthony Edwards basically think he went up for a rebound and basically went over someone and fall on that same shoulder. So he's going to play for sure. He's a tough gentleman. He's going to play for sure. And the only thing is that I don't expect much from him. He's going to give his best efforts. Probably he's not going to shoot a lot, and probably the instruction will be for him to drive to the basket a lot in tomorrow's encounter.
Chris Lynch, can I ask you a question, sir?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
And I want
How come you're not making? How come you're not using the injury as an excuse for my boy Bam? Why you just dumping on Bam and you use the injury as an excuse for Ant-Man?
Because Ant-Man didn't miss bunnies. Bam was at the rim missing bunnies. Those are what you call bunnies. It's not some
But
jump
Bam
shot that
is
Bam is
suffering from a
missing.
quad injury, so him lift. He's suffering with his lift. You don't see that?
So listen what Bam happens to be now, Garvey. Bam happens
Yes,
to
sir.
be at the rim with the ball and him cannot dunk it. When him got the rim, him realized that it not falling. Him push shot right around the just inside the free throw line. His push shot not falling. And he kept not dunking, trying to dunk the ball. He kept trying
He
to
not
go
have a
with the
normal
push
lift.
shot.
He not have a normal lift, man. You can't see the quads them there on him.
Yeah, man,
That's them ball. Them ball ain't supposed to dunk. Me agree with him. So at his best, him supposed to dunk them ball. Yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
man, come up. No excuses for Ant-Man, you know, but
All right.
we just have put it out there that obviously we don't want to just make it look like him just like a D'Angelo Russell who had no interest. D'Angelo Russell.
You should be ashamed of yourself for calling that man name in there. So Chris Lynch, you really expected D'Angelo Russell to play a good basketball back in LA? So on to the first go around in LA Pioneer. They've never learned nothing from that.
But all right, to be fair to him still, you know, and all right, to be fair to him, his first go around he was a rookie. He had issues. They said he was immature. He had some issues. But
he was lazy.
But for me still, I think he's slowly building a reputation. Similarly to a James Harden, that he's a regular season player. He impresses in the regular season, and then when those big moments, those telling moments in the playoffs come up. I thought while he was at the Timberwolves last year, I think he was the weak link.
Good comparison. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, he had a few good games, but for me, if he had joined the party and assisted Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns a little more last year, I think they would have gotten over the Memphis Grizzlies. So his first playing game with the Lakers, he has come up small. Luckily for him, he has another opportunity now against the said Memphis Grizzlies team with the playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. So kind of make an impact. So he has been a disappointment for me in the postseasons that I've seen him in. Anthony Edwards, Chris, you are just informing me of his injury that might affect the way how I pick in this game tomorrow. Picking him slightly. The Lakers game was disappointing as Gavi said. Saying, I was disappointed with they came out flat. The Timberwolves came out with a plan. They executed that plan for 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, mainly because of the foul trouble to Karl Anthony Towns and the obvious lack of support from Anthony Edwards. They seem to hit a brick wall and couldn't buy a basket. Imagine not scoring a field goal in the last 3 minutes 52 seconds of the regular time, and then
Pioneer did the math. They scored 17 points in the fourth quarter and overtime put together.
Imagine scoring 4 points in a 5-minute overtime span, and that is a farm
to
lose a game. You understand? So disappointing in that. I think the Lakers a little bit fortunate for slide through there.
Something that Minnesota carry over from last season, though, Pioneer.
Definitely.
Them went up against Memphis 20 at points and just couldn't close games last year in the playoffs.
You think Gobert would have helped them? You think they would have won if Gobert was in there?
I don't think in that game, because Gobert has a very poor record against Anthony.
Eddie.
I think the two last that affected them most to me was the one of Nasrid, who is their kind of their backup center, because Towns don't really play center. It's Gobert and Nasrid as a backup, and Nasrid is a very, very great offensive player. I think he would have. I've seen games this season where they just kept on going to him and he would get a bucket, especially from distance. What's his name? Damian. What's his name? Chris Lynch, the dude who punched a wall.
McDaniel.
McDaniel, Jaden McDaniel, his loss, considering he has been playing great defense and LeBron James in the games that they played earlier in the season. His loss was also telling for them. So I think if they had those two pieces, if they had all their pieces, I think they would have stood up better. Toronto Raptors last night, I thought had the game in the bag, but amazing and outstanding performance by Zach LaVine. He's a youngster who has come to the fore right now and I show him work, and he's coming into that star, not superstar yet, but he must show himself as a genuine NBA star right now.
Yeah, true.
Big game last night. Taking the mantle from DeRozan. DeRozan coming back home to Toronto. Obviously, a big storyline. Came up a little bit small in the first half of the game, and he was carried basically by Zach LaVine. And
I'm proud of LaVine because he came into the league as just an athlete, but you can't see him work on him game.
Work on his game. Has developed a 3-point shot and has a very good inside game. And add that to his athleticism, Bridging. This little youth is a killer. But for me, the game of the night was last night's game. The Thunders, nice young team. This team has a bright future. Shea Gilchrist-Alexander, star heading to superstardom. Nice young team the Thunders have. I was a little disappointed by the play of CJ McCollum. Somebody who
very.
Yeah, man, came up in a game of such importance.
Small.
Came up small. Couldn't buy a shot at one point in the game.
Yeah, think he shoots like 5 or 50.
And him settled too much Pioneer. He was not aggressive enough.
Hold on, Gab. G-Star is trying to say something.
Bro, I'm saying we've seen this before in Portland time again. So it shouldn't be surprised.
Yes.
None at all. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
You know what I've been going off, G-Star. I was going off what I saw him do last year in the playoffs. He was outstanding last year in the playoffs. Remember that they won their first round series and took Phoenix to 6 games. They won in the play-in.
Yeah, man, him touch only, man. Him touch only.
But since he has been at the Pelicans, I thought he was moving away from that reputation. We have seen games when he was in Portland that he was less than what we expected him to be. But since he has been at the Pelicans, I was thinking that he was growing into his own.
Yeah.
He has a big role to play, not being in the shadow of Dame Lillard anymore. Brandon McCollum, what's my name? Brandon what's the other player?
Ingram.
Brandon Ingram was begging for some help last night, and TJ was a disappointment last night. So
but he's not a killer. Ingram is not a killer.
Yes, G-Star. Tell them.
Ingram.
Pioneer,
Ingram,
when you are a star like Ingram, what I expected of
Is
him
it a
is to
killer,
come
Pioneer?
out in the first quarter and set the tone. He didn't do that.
Well, I thought Ingram had a decent game last night. I think
He came on in like the third quarter, but in the initial part of the game, when the Thunder took control of the momentum of the game, and that's what I did expect him to establish him dominance. You see me as a Chris Lynch?
I think him have all of the tools. I think he was a little passive at times. I was looking for a little more aggression from him for real. But I must say, I am very, very, very impressed by this young Oklahoma City team. Josh Giddey is a star in the making.
Me impressed with them from last year.
He's fearless. And him shooting with confidence.
Giddey's a baller.
He's a real baller. And he's an Australian in a G-Star. Him exude that kind of Aussie.
Yeah, man, he was the first.
As the aura. Where's the aura?
Before coming in the draft.
I think he was a G-Star. The 6th pick. He was a 6th pick in the draft. That's right. A 6th selection in the draft.
Yeah, that's right. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, man, I'm coming go 7. So I know all about it. But hey, rewind.
It's a ball.
Rewind. I want to talk about something quickly. Fine.
Go ahead.
The Miami Heat. Before we go on, can you tell me Chris Lynch, who's the starting lineup for the Miami Heat? Who the Miami Heat start? Bam, Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, and who's the other person?
Larry came off the
No,
bench.
Laurie not starting. Laurie not
Laurie
start
start.
no.
It was
It's
Strauss,
Vincent and Strauss.
Strauss,
Vincent and Strauss.
Butler,
Strong.
Tyler Hill.
Yeah,
man,
Vincent
Larry came
and
off the bench.
Strauss.
Yeah, Laurie was coming. Laurie was the sixth man.
Undrafted players.
Oh.
Vincent, Vincent.
Because
and
remember,
Strauss.
Laurie coming off injury, you know.
So Jimmy Butler's basically playing power forward.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Jimmy
yeah.
Butler's basically playing power forward, right? And Bam is playing center. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, what does Eric Spoelstra expect? Doesn't he expect them to get rebounded if you have that lineup in the game?
G-Star, good point. But more I ask you this.
That's
Does
it. That's it.
Chicago... No, more I ask G-Star if him feel say the next team of them are going to play, which is who? Chicago Pioneer?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think Chicago has the same type of front line like the Hawks had to exploit that weakness? What do you think?
Vucevic is no Clint Capella. He's not as
No,
aggressive.
no.
I don't think Vucevic will. Vucevic will.
No, they don't. And there's a youth named Patrick Williams.
Patrick Williams, nice player, but I don't think.
But you see, Atlanta is full of a lot of athletic players.
Yeah, man. John Collins and Clint Capella on the front line. He's a handful for anything.
Understood.
I think
Sadiq Bey, the youth Jalen Johnson,
I think them in
Capella.
trouble though, Garvey. Garvey might
DeAndre
have
Hunter.
because Lavine, Vucevic, Pat Beverly, and Caruso all like to go for rebounds. They're not shy from going up for rebounds, and basically the Bulls did that good last night too. They were trying to get rebounds, and it was
Even
all
though
those guys.
Arville said matchups no matter, we know better than that.
All right. Killer Green make a point. Say, Miami need to play Oladipo, but I don't know. Oladipo's injury seems. I don't know if he mind injury and body injury, but him seems.
Why may I tell a Pioneer? Now you let me down in the NBA.
Oladipo was a player that I was high on.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, myself included.
He has.
They used
From the Indiana series with LeBron, right?
Yeah, man. And even while he was with Russ in at the Thunders, but a couple of injuries but he was showing signs of coming back late last year into this year, and I don't know, somewhere along the line. I don't maybe it's something that they could try. I don't know if they could make a difference. But I have to know.
Yo, him give away a lot of money to in a Pioneer because he could have gotten a big contract and he turned it down.
Gary, where you from?
Hold on, man.
Hold on, Gavin. But mute the mic, yeah, Gavin. Can I have some bridging for this?
Mute your mic, man, Garvey.
Mute the mic, Gavin. Come in, want mute. The man of my company is my smell.
Alright, we got my move, brother.
I smell the chicken through the stream here.
One G-Star can't cook it, that's how my chat said.
I walk up a Rasta man at the stream here. I say, yeah, why fire up on the chicken here?
G-Star, may I ask you the same question over the West matchup you know. May I ask you this now? Even though Oklahoma have a dominant backcourt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Last night they were giving up a few offensive rebounds. May they take note of that. So may I ask you, do you think say Cat, even though he needs to stop being a cat and be a dog when he's out there, you feel say him got able to exploit for them front line?
And don't forget, Gobier is coming back.
Garvey, yeah, I think you're kind of asking a rhetorical question a little bit. Here's why.
You tell me now.
Cat has proven to be soft. When the game was on the line, where did you see Karl Anthony Towns? Did you see anywhere near the rim? When the game was on the line. So I can't trust Cat to do any kind of dirty work. Maybe Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert, no. Yeah, Rudy Gobert might get some offensive rebounds still. So I'm gonna give Rudy Gobert that. So yeah, I'm gonna give Rudy Gobert, but this Rudy Gobert now, he's kind of a hit and miss because they can take advantage of him sometimes on the defensive end.
True.
But that's a good question.
All right.
I think Rudy Gobert will get some offensive rebound, but I don't have no faith in Karl Anthony Towns.
G-Star, you realize that.
Oh, big up Pagan 180. Long time I don't hear from it.
Yeah, try to get us some information to determine.
Where's the Pioneer? May I get on a picks out on a brain from now?
Well, let me help you, guys. Let me help you. All right. One of the best. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best at getting to the rim. Saying that is one of his strong points in the game. He's not a great outside shooter, but
Indeed.
going to the rim, he's unstoppable. Saying
True.
converse, on the other side, Rudy Gobert is one of the better rim protectors in the league. Saying even though I see some little man down on him all the while, where, take off him strong, but the truth is,
Kind of stagnant. Him kind of stagnant.
the truth is, he's a decent rim protector. Those, if he comes back, the Twin Towers with him and Cat are gonna make it a little harder for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey to get to the rim. Saying, I think Giddey is a better outside shooter. Giddey not afraid to shoot it from the outside, but
Yes.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a man who like to drive to the rim. That I think will have a negative effect on the Thunder. However, with the injury to Anthony Edwards, I don't know how much potency the Minnesota Timberwolves will have on the other end. My problem with Cat is that I think he was a little confused. Some fair man of his size and his skill set, I think him confused as to what they want to be. A down low player, or because he won a 3-point contest year before last.
Exactly.
He thinks he's a great 3-point shooter. So at times when him for dominate down low and him take the ball and go to the rim, I think it's a little bit too much. See, and I think that affects him. You have that size, you have a skill set, you can handle the ball decently. Dominate when you're playing.
But it also affect the team, Pioneer, because he's on the 3-point line where the other guards are supposed to be. He might get the team off kilter.
On many occasions. So I say, but I think for a big man, he settled too much. And they brought in Gobert now because they brought in Gobert for kind of offset that. So Gobert would be the player that players don't deal with the inner the paint player.
Right.
Allow Cat to play a little bit more on the perimeter. But I Gobert don't have the offensive skills like him.
You can't play Gobert 35 minutes in a playoff game. It can't happen.
And that is why they rule the loss of Naz Reid so much, because Naz Reid
Stretch the floor.
Yeah, man. Him stretch the floor and he's a great outside shooter. And him can also take it to the rim. And his defense was coming on. Even though he's not the greatest defender, but I think in this season his defending was coming on.
Yeah, he's athletic.
I'll put him up on the spot, gentlemen. And yeah, even though you make a pick, this doesn't have
nice pieces,
So I ask all of you gentlemen give me your picks for tomorrow night's game. I could take a quick look at beyond that and look at some of the games to come in the playoff.
May I be honest with the Pioneer? I may not pick my picks them yet, but right now, if I was to pick right now, surprisingly, may I lean towards both teams that lost their first game. Reason being, for the same reason I'm asking about the front court. I don't think Giddey and Alexander will be able to replicate that supernatural performance. They're going to need some front court scoring. I'm not really see nothing in them front court where I'm going to scare Minnesota. And then over in the East, as I told you, I thought Miami lost the game because they couldn't protect their boards. And I don't think Chicago will be able to dominate it. I mean, I see Miami, just I'm in line with the G-Stars. I don't see Jimmy Butler playing 2 bad games in a row. So I may expect Bam to be a little better. So right now, surprisingly, I lean towards the teams that lost.
All right, reasonable enough, my version. Chris.
Yeah, obviously the Chicago versus Heat. I don't like how Miami look. I didn't like how them look. I don't know how I picked them to even get past Hawks, but obviously I knew what was happening in the Hawks camp, and I was banking on that a disjointed team was going to show up to play a team like Miami, and they were going to get over it. But I think Bulls is going to. This is where the blowout starts. I think these 2 games will be the 2 blowouts now. Normally the playing games are blowout games, This year has been different, and I think this is where the blowout starts.
So you have a blowout for Chicago.
Chicago going to blow out Miami,
yeah,
and Timberwolves going to blow out OKC.
All right, so you have one home team being blown out and one home team blowing out the visiting team. All right, G-Star.
No, I think both of them are home teams. You're right.
Come on, Chicago is going to Miami.
Bulls is going to Miami.
No,
and Thunder's going to Minnesota.
Right.
Hold on, before you send on G-Star, I'm gonna pick up some
Yeah,
people.
man. I think Chris Lynch.
R&R, one big coach is this. Coach means respect our manners, my brethren. Long time we no link up. Pagan 180, who is a regular. Saying Killer Greens, pick up yourself again. I don't know which Killer Greens you have, but we need some other Killer Greens. Saying, I want to pick up General Preacher, who the
Big
street.
up Preacher, yeah. I see Preacher did a big rap earlier.
Yeah, man, big up Preacher. Saying, Preacher, you should be here with us, but I know, sir, reasons.
You got Preacher the deceiver.
No, easy no Gavin, go easy. Ricky 10, I want to respect our manners, said Speed, and Leighton Cornwall. We give thanks for the participation. Keep the comments coming, because it's interactive and it has me as a host just thinking about things with you guys posting.
Yeah, man, the show is nice. The hosts are good. Pioneer, you need to take up this thing at 100. You're better than Harville.
Respect our manners, Gavin. You know what I go. See, but gentlemen, G-Star, give me your picks and then we could slideshow and look at a couple of the mouth-watering
All right, yeah.
series.
Quick and fast.
Yeah.
Quick and fast. I ain't go with Minnesota. I think it could be a nice game. I like Minnesota's balance a little better than I do OKC in terms of inside, outside.
So yeah, I got the Wolves.
And then I don't know. For me, Miami look. I don't know. Maybe they should pay Kevin Love some more. No idea. Oladipo should get some playing time. But I ain't go with Chicago. I think DeRozan and Zach LaVine want it a little bit more. So when I hear Jimmy Butler talk, Jimmy Butler seems like he seems okay. Mm-hmm. If he come out to the playoffs, he seems all right. I don't really like that kind of vibe from Jimmy Butler. And we know that he's the leader. Kyle Lowry had 30 points in the last game. That's definitely not going to blow him low. Kyle Lowry definitely blew him low. So so I'm gonna go with Chi-Town, and I'm gonna go with Minnesota, the original Lakers, Minnesota Timberwolves.
All right. Sliding similarly to you, G-Star. I think Miami looks a little jaded. I think Bulls are gonna have them tails up. They're gonna have their tails up. DeRozan, having not played his best game yesterday, I look for him come out to try to reclaim that mantle as being the leader of the team. I'm gonna expect Zach LaVine to fall off. I think Chicago has a nice team. I look for them pull it off. The factors we mentioned earlier, I think are gonna negate the Thunders a little bit. Them get a good game. They get a very, very good game from Lou Dart last night. Seeing he was a third scorer. I was impressed by him. Trust me, he's not a man. I've seen him have a 1 and 2 decent games in the playoffs. But he really impressed me last time.
He's okay. For sure.
I don't think he can replicate that. That's what I say. I don't see him replicating that versus the Timberwolves. So, and a lot will depend on Anthony Edwards' health. If he's 70% or more, I think they win that game. If he is as huddled or as lame as Chris Lynch is suggesting, then I think they have a little problem. But they rock with Minnesota and Chicago for right now. But gentlemen, after tomorrow, then we'll come to the real business part of the thing. See, and a lot of some mouth-watering series await. See, I'm going to start out East first. Saying,
Indeed.
We're not talking about Milwaukee because we don't know who their opponents are. So I'm going to start with the ones that we know about. So I'm going to start with Boston versus Atlanta. Saying, G-Star, give me up your prospect. How difficult a test you think Atlanta should be for Boston?
I'm glad you started me for the jump off this one. I think Boston is going to come out and set a tone that they're not to be played. Boston, you could say maybe Boston or Golden State have one of the most well-rounded teams in the NBA, right? They were finalists last season. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Who are they going against? Atlanta. The thing is, Atlanta does have athletes to kind of counteract them a little bit, but I think the skill level,
Hawkins, the
which is what separates players at this level.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the skill level of Brown and Tatum, and then Malcolm Brogdon. I think this is a series where Malcolm Brogdon is going to show why they brought him there and why he is there. So for me, I have Boston about 4-1. It shouldn't go longer than 5 games. I think that gentleman sweep. Gentleman sweep.
Give me a quick flick on that, Gavi, and tell me.
Oh, the Boston series.
Yeah.
All right. Well, remember me, I'm the person where they picked Boston to go to the final last year.
All right.
But surprisingly, I'm kind of cool on the Celtics right now.
Yeah.
And the main reason is Pioneer. If you look at the Celtics, brother, they basically had the same team under Brad Stevens as Udoka had last year.
Yeah.
So you can basically see the difference in the Celtics last year was coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I think they overachieved last year.
So you don't think the new coach has done a good job?
Yeah, but to be honest, Pioneer, I think he's kind of copycatting the system that was set by Udoka. You know what I mean?
All right. Fair enough.
And in the playoffs, what you need is like on-the-fly adjustments, and I think that's where he's gonna struggle. So when I expect in this series, I expect Boston to win, but I expect them to start show cracks in the armor right now. So I expect it to go 6 games.
All right. So you said Boston in 6.
Yeah.
For me, and I think this will be a test for the coach. Udoka did a pretty good job last year in guiding them to the final and up to the point of being 2-1 up on Golden State. I think, like you, G-Star, I think Boston have one of the most rounded team in the NBA. Really rounded. They are balanced in every position. They have shored up where they need for shoring up. Them have quality bigs in Robert Williams III. They have great guard play. Them have 2 young stars. I don't want to call them superstars. They have 2 young stars who are very experienced. Another thing I like with them to Gavi, them have almost the same squad minus a few changes that went to the finals last year. So getting the taste of this.
What's up with Williams' health? How is Williams' health?
Man, they have been using him, sparing. I think they are preserving him for the playoffs. If you notice, even late in the season, they didn't play him in another game. So I think they have kind of just, kept him and managed his minutes carefully with a view of having him for the playoff. Because they don't need him. When you're talking about a conference that includes Joel Embiid and
they need him. They need him.
Them definitely are gonna need him. Them definitely a quality big, and they have been preserving him.
And him have to go play big minutes to Pioneer. If he plays Philly, him can't play 20 minutes a game. Him have to play over 30 minutes a game.
There you go. But one thing still, I think as a plan, Boston would want to make light work of the Hawks. They would want to spare themselves any extra games are going further than they need to. I think having tasted the final last year, I think this year them have a mindset of championship or bust. So I think them definitely have them eyes on the bigger prize, and I'm expecting them to make light work at the Hawks. G-Star said in 5. I'm said 5, possibly 4. The Hawks are 5. Trae Young hasn't been the best from 3, but he's got as an overall guard. I get more impressed with him in terms of being a point guard. But
Pioneer, may I pick up something about Trae Young? He seems to play better in playoff games than regular season.
True. He's a big-hearted player, Gavi. But what I think him must show more maturity. Whilst his 3-point shooting this year is falling off, him guard play for me has stepped up on that. So, where's the coin? Boston in 3. I remember, Bridget. That is a fresh one. But I am expecting the Celtics to make light work off the Hawks. What you say, Chris? You had commented already on it?
Yeah, man. Boston for the first broom, that probably be.
Yes, the first broom. All right, so I'm going to slide down to another matchup where, to me, it's going to be a nice, intriguing matchup. Philadelphia 76ers versus the Brooklyn Nets. Quick on that, Chris.
Yeah, this is another matchup that people think, I think they probably getting the brooms ready for, but the Brooklyn Nets, Mikal Bridges, Embiid is going to be the best player in the series, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt they have any answer for Embiid, but I think they match up well everywhere else on the court. But
Okay.
I still think Philly is good enough to get this done in at least 6 games.
I said, man, Philly in 6, having home court advantage and all that. Gavi, I know you hype on Philly, no Gavi. How you see that series?
One word, me I could have. My analysis for this series is only one word. Pioneer, sweet.
All right, so you say sweet.
Yup.
All right, I feel Philly. I favor Philly too in the series, but I'm gonna see a sweep happening. I think the Brooklyn cast is I think I'm good enough for a game, at least a game. I think you see what happened with you see. Is a thing, I like some of the pieces with Brooklyn. Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, 2 warrior from the Suns. They come over from the Suns. But my youth name who? His name keeps slipping me.
Mikal Bridges.
No man, not Bridges man. He's back at the Nets.
No man, they might talk about the guy that was there before.
What came up? But I think they are good enough.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, that's what he's talking.
Come up good from time to time. I think I give Nets at least a game in the series. Again, I expect knowing how fickle Joel Embiid's health can be, I'm expecting the Sixers and Doc Rivers to try and make light work at the Nets. It's interesting. I want to see how James Harden will come up in this playoffs. I have been somewhat impressed with how him has acted into his new role at the Sixers. I think him a compliment. I think this year has been the year when I see him best at play that complementary role. See, he has always wanted to be the man. He came to Philly knowing that he might forgot to take a back seat to Embiid. And last year, I don't think them to figure it out completely. I think this year, based on what I've seen so far, in the regular season, the games that they have both played, I like what Harden has done. But again, the big question is, can he turn up in the big times? In this series versus the Nets, considering that it is him whole team, have a little bad blood with them and thing, I expect him to come sure. For me, it is what he will do after this, when he comes up in Boston, where, that we expect to kind of define, seeing, and so we can put a different narrative to him legacy. But I am picking Philly in this one in 5, possibly 6. But I expect Brooklyn to get a few games.
Sometimes it's good when your name is not in the news in the Pioneer. The first season, this in about 10 years, where James Harden's name is not on the front line, but that's a good thing.
Yeah. Very good. In terms of officials, being at the back where you now get mentioned is a good thing. No, it's the same thing with James Harden. Because normally he's something negative in terms of him partying too much, not being in shape, not coming up big. The fact that he has quietly settled into his role and is playing that complementary role. So I assisting Joel Embiid the forerunner of the MVP conversation is a good thing.
Get used to the money now, Pioneer. When him go to Houston and them give him the first 200 million, it kind of frightening, man.
All right, we have a call online, We have the man himself, Gunners Boss, Fine Action.
Bless up. Congratulations, Deep Star. We are killing like a flowers,
Bless up, Sub-Zero.
You know what I mean, man. You know I ain't got no time. I ain't got no time to be watching the games like that. So I'm not gonna be sitting here acting like I'm no target, agreeing with everybody.
Tell the people them why your name Sub-Zero.
Gunners Boss. Hold on 1 second, Gunners Boss. I'm officially welcome Preacher to the stream. Preacher, welcome forward, brother. Great to have you. It's an all-star cast of people. So I say, when you have one like Christian G-Star.
Well, right now, I feel like Isaiah at the All-Star game. I see a man them freeze out.
You mean to tell me? You're calling that That's preacher. You call him that preacher, an all-star. Take him out of it. If he's on the dance card,
Bob, yes, Friday.
I'm going home with my sneakers. If preacher is an all-star, I'm going home with my sneakers and my basketball. And I'm going to get to tomorrow.
You sound like Isaiah Thomas talking about Michael Jordan. Jordan talking about Isaiah Thomas, bro. You sound so much.
I don't know why you're talking about preacher all-star. All-star in what?
It's a dream team, man. We're not on the body of a dream team.
Come on, man. You know, we don't even get called at the bench, son.
All right, so
what's wrong with
we're getting
anyway?
you must
welcome in I think, preacher.
Yeah, man. Respect. So,
always running.
Gunners ball. We talk some basketball. Look, as a matter of fact, we're chewing at the fire right now because the series that most excites me out east is the series between the Cleveland Cavaliers, whom I like, and the New York Knicks. New York Knicks retooled, got Branson. They have some of the same pieces who have made the playoff over the last 2 seasons. And everybody, Julius Randle and the man that willing, eager to make their names. Tell me how you see that series that got Gunners Bar. So how you preview that Cleveland Knicks series? What do you think New York can do in that series? Do you see New York going to the second round?
Yeah, I see New York making it out of this round. Playing Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't know why, but I think if Julius Randle and Branson and them decide they're gonna play basketball, they can win this series. If Randle start getting and stealing and start have some kind of way because the man them over there have some different, it's not gonna work out. If them come motivated, I don't know nothing about the other team. I'm not going to talk about New York. I'm staying home.
You're staying New York. Preacher, welcome forward, my brethren. I don't know, sir. You love having you up on the stream.
Yeah, man. Big up, man.
Whenever I go to the games we analyze the preacher, I go forward. Give me your synopsis on this. I think it's gonna be a very intriguing series between the Knicks and the Cavs.
Yeah, I mean, this is a kind of balanced series, right? I mean, I guess it's a typical kind of 4-5 series, you know what I mean, where any card can play depending on, you know, which players turn up big. It really going to come down to the 2-point guards who were traded from their teams previous, really. It really going to come down to Mighty Mouse versus Donovan Mitchell. And on the other side, our guy there that came from Dallas Mavericks and joined the Knicks. Jalen Brunson. It comes down to them because those guys are the orchestrators on the team. Been watching the Knicks. I think the Knicks are a little bit frail defensively. They don't impress me defensively. They don't seem to be able, in my opinion, to stop players who can get to the basket. I don't know that they have that kind of inside presence, and that's what the Cleveland Cavaliers have. They have actually one of the better defensive centers in the league. Right now. So I'm giving Cleveland the edge in a very close series. It can go 7, but I'm going to call it Cleveland 6.
We have a couple of New York fans here saying New York in 7. Big up Carl Campbell and big up D. Cohen.
Big up teacher, Cohen, Devin Cohen. Big up teacher.
All right. Big up
New York, man. New York.
New York in 7. I could slide now because we kind of press with time a little. So that kind of preview the East. Gunners Boss, we'll start with you again. You're still online, right?
Yeah, man, I'm still here.
All right, so we jump out West Gunners Boss.
You never asked me about me to the series pioneer with New York and Cavs.
I think you deal the chicken, brother.
Man, I just deal with it now. I tell you, I eat, you know.
You still smell the chicken, brother.
Give you a quick 2 minutes span. Give you a quick 2 minutes span of series there. Yeah. I agree with some of what Pine Action said. So I agree with Pine Action said I like New York to win the series, right? Yeah. I agree with some of what Preacher said because the reason why I think New York are gonna win the series is I think if it was in the mid-season, but I say Cleveland would have win because the overwhelming advantage that they have in the backcourt. But no, with the Brunson trade, it kind of balance it. I expect New York to get a little bit better front court scoring than Knicks. So I think New York in 7.
New York in 7. I think that for me, I think that series is going 7 games. I'm not ready for call it yet, but
Cleveland in 6.
I love the series. I like Cleveland. I like Cleveland. I pick Cleveland. It could be 6, Chris, but I give New York the benefit of the doubt. Say they're gonna make a.
I think RJ Barrett are gonna play good this year.
New York, I like the New York squad, but somehow I don't know, them just like seem to get it together. Them don't have no big superstar type player, but I think the young pieces and the stars that them have, like I said, the semi-stars like Julius Randle and the RJ Barrett. I think when them ready to put it and bring it. Sometimes. It depends on how much them bring it in other series. But I just think the quality of Cleveland just a little bit more in terms of Spider Mitchell and Garland and the cast over this. I just think they have a little bit.
The one thing I am banking on in this series is that Spider Mitchell is a playoff man, you know.
Yeah.
A man that normally turns up. Even though Utah didn't go places, he would normally get up his points efficiently. He's a man who have a couple 50-point playoff games, and I'm not going to look past that. He's going to turn up in the playoffs, that's for sure.
Don't forget about his teammates.
Brand said the same thing. So you guys have it the right way.
Carl Campbell is saying that New York beat Cleveland 3 times right now the season, and Cohen, I remind me, say, Cleveland don't have a superstar. If you ask me, I expect Donovan Mitchell to be the best player in the series. I think that you see, people, all right, there's an argument in a preacher, maybe in a stream down the road, we're going to have this conversation about the amount of superstars in the NBA. Because people seem to throw around this term kind of loosely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Well, no, I mean, I know you're saying it's gonna happen.
We don't want to cloud the year right now.
Right.
But I promise you, for a future debate, maybe we'll do it in between some of these playoff games. We'll look at who are the bona fide superstars in the NBA. And we probably can put a number to say how many superstars do we have currently in the NBA. All right, but I promise you that for a future show. But I could jump out west now. And this time I'm going to start it from, because of the hype and the intrigue where I go surround this series, we're going to start from the middle of the table. We could look at the mouth-watering 4-5 matchup between the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Clippers. Gunners boss, I'll give you the first shot at the thing, sir. Suns versus Clippers, Gunners boss.
Suns Clippers. Man, DeAndre Ayton. I don't know, man. I'm thinking the Clippers. Why that come back?
Nah, you're fine.
Yeah, fine. Who?
PG.
Paul George. He's still out.
Still uncertainty surrounding his comeback.
Yeah,
let's say back after 2
I'm just without any further conversation, let me do this. I'm gonna just pick the Clippers to win this series, knowing that I want Phoenix Suns to go further. Oh, Kevin Durant over Phoenix. I want a Phoenix series. Phoenix over the point start. It's over the point start. Let me run by saying this. Let me get off this phone because I'm out here in this first.
Yeah.
So let me go before this. I did not know Damian Stoudemire still plays in the NBA. I hear somebody said fight him out. They can only see one fight him out. And it's little man Damian Stoudemire. I catch you when I reach over call back at anything.
All right. Respect. God has
yes.
And respect. That's what I'm respect.
Who in pick for win Pioneer?
Yeah, go ahead. Him pick Phoenix. Him say he immediately remember Kevin Durant they are the Suns. And that was true all the time. Him said done before it start. Him a pick Phoenix. So preacher, I give him know you're rearing to go, brother. Not rearing. I know yo. Yeah?
No, I mean,
I know you're itching to go, Gabi. So, but I'm jump the preacher before.
Yeah, man.
Well, the truth is, the Clippers are one of the most unlucky teams, right? Mm-hmm. In the last 2 or 3 seasons, either Kawhi or Paul George has been injured at a critical juncture in the season, which is now, right? And I think that is going to be the major difference maker. If Paul George is unable to be back after game 2 or so in the series, then I don't see the Clippers beating them. I tell you why. Kawhi can get his points. When you look at the Clippers, they have a lot of other players that are not necessarily players who are going to dominate a game. They can turn up in every other game, but you need that other 1B who can consistently get his own shot, and that's Paul George. I don't see anybody else doing it, which means that Russell Westbrook will have to be doing a lot more for the Clippers offensively. You don't want to put Russell Westbrook in that situation where he's being required to be an offensive threat for your team. But on the other side with Phoenix, you're talking about guys who can get their own shots in Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. These are two guys who at any point in time can take over a game. So it means less work and less pressure on their point guard, right? Chris Paul. And that has been the problem for Chris Paul in the previous years, where he has had to be doing so much at the age that he is. So I got Phoenix winning the series. In fact, Phoenix winning in 6. If Paul George does not return.
All right, before me bring in Gavin, one big up Chris Wayne. Chris Wayne, are we not tell us Chris Wayne and just tune in for that, Chris Wayne. We'll make sure we post it days before we have the discussion regarding how many superstars in the league. Chris Wayne is telling us on 6 current superstars in the league: James, Durant, Curry,
he's probably right,
Embiid, and Doncic. That means he's telling us that Giannis is not a superstar and some others. But Chris,
with a bounce out Doncic and put in Giannis.
That's a discussion for another day. And then basically I tell us anyway, we're gonna stress this one. Well, welcome Carlton Lovelace, who's saying that Lakers to win the West. Saying gentlemen and ladies, if you are in the comment section, keep the comments coming. Saying Gavin, I know
you are Pioneer. Let me preface something before me even start talk. Remember, I know Chris Lynch.
Yeah.
I said that when the season started, I said any team that had Kevin Durant on it would win the championship, right?
Okay, yeah, man.
That was my preseason prediction now, because I thought that by Steph winning that ring, KD would have been extra motivated this year to get even with Steph. So, me just put that. So, in case I put my foot in my mouth and him end up win the ring, just remember somebody did say that.
Yeah,
okay, now to this
So you have 2 picks.
So Chris Lynch.
Chris might play the 2 side of the fence. All right, so give me the.
So here why me I go against that now, Chris Lynch. Here why me I go against that now, Chris.
Give me the real analysis now.
Right. The reason why me I go against that, ironically, is because Russell Westbrook is here in Clippers now.
Wow.
And the way, all right. So if he plays the way he has been playing since he got to the Clippers have a real shot to win the series, because at the Clippers he's basically shooting 50%, and if he can play that efficiently in this series, I'm gonna say that Kawhi will be the best 2-way. I expect Kawhi to be the best 2-way player in the series. Kevin Durant might be the best offensive player, slightly above Kawhi, but I expect Kawhi to be the best 2-way player in the season. And to be honest, I expect that at times Kawhi will guard Durant a lot, and I expect him to get into Durant's body and make his life difficult, because Kawhi has a penchant for doing that. So I am going to pick the Clippers in 7.
Clippers in 7. All right. Let me say a few words on that series. For me, it's a very interesting and intriguing series. I like the depth of the Clippers, even without Paul George. And Preacher, you mentioned them not having that second.
Maxey to Pioneer. I forgot to mention him. Maxey, I expect him to be big in this series.
Terrence Maxey. Tyrese Maxey, sorry. I was saying Terrence Maxey. It's Terrence Mann and Tyrese Maxey. The second scorer and somebody who is big, even though he's possibly gonna be coming off the bench. Norman Powell has been outstanding.
Yes, sir.
Trust me. I don't know if you have been watching him recently.
Yeah, he has had some good games coming off the bench.
And for me, he's a firebrand player. I like the depth. Even I get down to Russell Westbrook at the end of the thing. But even I like Suns are obviously a juggernaut. Anything that has Booker, Durant, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and throwing any other player want to win off Adam Rustan, that is a very, very formidable starting lineup. saying that can rank amongst the best in the league. However, when we think
very thin though, very thin bench.
The way I think they have suffered is in trading for Durant, they have given away a lot of their trading away people like Cam Johnson and Michael Bridges and amongst others. So I think they're a little thin, and I think where they're far short in terms of depth is where the Clippers. When you look on the Clippers roster, you have some real firebirds. I mentioned Norman Powell. There's also another youngster. They were them called Bones Highland. Second year.
Yes,
was
sir.
At the Nuggets last year, but I've seen that young man, both for the Nuggets and for the Clippers, pull out some show-stopping performances out of the bag. And he's going to be one of those coming off the bench. Had a lot of fire to the Clippers. My fear for the Clippers in this series, Gavin, is the man who you give most credit is Westbrook. I think that coming up against Kevin Durant and the other thing, and I saw an interview yesterday where he was playing on a rivalry between him and Durant. But my fear is that in a close game, Clippers having it in hand for win, Russell Westbrook is gonna come down the floor, lose his mind, jack up and warranted and call for a shot, turn over the ball somehow and cost the Clippers games in this series. I fear if Westbrook can maintain his discipline and play within the Clippers concept and follow Ty Lue's instructions, I give them a puncher's chance in this series because of the depth that they have.
And I give them the edge in coaching too. While I respect Monty Williams, I still give Tyronn Lue a little edge in coaching.
Yeah, the coaching, and I think they are two very well coached teams. But one because the edge in is the depth of their squad. For me, it's a good series. I can't see it going less than 6 games. Saying I'd be very surprised if it's a lopsided series either way. I expect the series to go 6, possibly 7 games, and I think we are in for a treat of excellent basketball. By the way, Gavi, Kevin Durant has been playing some stellar defense since he has been back. As a matter of fact, all year he has been very, very good defensively. So, in terms of two-way players, and Kawhi, it also going to be who will be the best player in the series, and I think that could possibly, along with the mentioned the depth of the Clippers bench, could be possibly the deciding factor in this series. But I'm really looking forward to this series, gentlemen. Not interesting time. Yeah, go ahead. You saying something, guy?
About 6 games ago, I saw Kawhi play against Philadelphia, and when I saw him play that game, I realized that, okay, this Kawhi is primed and ready for the playoff. I think he has a lot in the tank, and he's ready to unleash this year, brother.
Killer Green is pointing out some same things. The Clippers have more two-way players, and that could also be a factor. I agree with you, Killer Greens, but sometimes you look on Durant and what he represents as an offensive force, sometimes, you just wonder. Saying Booker and CP3 have got to be prepared to come along for the ride. For me, it's going to be a really sweet and entertaining series. Moving on quickly, gentlemen. The 6-3 matchup. Another thing that I think is going to be very entertaining and intriguing. Golden State Warriors against the awesome offensive force of the Sacramento Kings. Preacher, I'm going to jump out there again on this one. Tell me how is the defending champions matching up against this offensive juggernaut.
It's the matchup Golden State wanted. I mean, it's the best way that you can start a first round if you're Golden State. You're getting Andrew Wiggins back, so he can round himself into kind of basketball playoff shape in this series. We know that Sacramento is, Sabonis and Fox. These guys are very, very good offensive players. But Sacramento also gives up probably the one of the highest scores per game in the league. And we know Golden State, especially when it comes down to playoff basketball, is going to get their points. Mike Brown is the coach on the Sacramento Kings team. He has been with Steve Kerr and the Warriors for some time. He should know a few tricks in terms of trying to slow down the Warriors. But the Warriors, if you're talking about a team that is deep, the Warriors are still deep. And the player that I think is going to be the breakout player this time around for Golden State is actually Kuminga. Steve Kerr has been using Kuminga a lot more in the last few games. He's been kind of the replacement for Wiggins in a sense, not necessarily starting, but as that big presence who can get his own shot. Kuminga will be the difference maker. Warriors in 5 actually.
All right, Chris.
Perfect situation for Golden State again. We must remember that Curry was coming off an injury last year and they get the matchup of Denver. Everyone thought it would have been one way. It was just a good matchup for Golden State at the time. Curry was coming off injury and it was just the perfect matchup. It's the same thing going to play out right here again. Wiggins, he's not injured. He's just facing some problems and it's the perfect matchup again for him to get in rhythm again to Golden State to go on a title run. So, like Preacher, I really can't. Sacramento cannot stop anybody. You need to stop people. You can't just score. Everybody can basically score in the NBA. The difference is always who can get stops, critical stops in games, and I think Golden State can do that. Gary Payton, he's back. He's probably going to be the pick to be on Fox. Can move his leg very well, all of that, but yeah, I can't see this past 5 games. Golden State.
Gavin, yeah,
man, quick and short. Golden State in 5, man.
Golden State in 5. All right. It is said that this Sacramento offense is the best in the history of the NBA. It's about the point to the score per 100%.
These analytics people need to go and show it, man. They don't know nothing about that.
Exactly, stats, you know.
De'Aaron Fox is leading the greatest offense in NBA history.
Madness, man.
As you said, stats tell the story, but let's tell the full story. But I'm just regurgitating and repeating what is being said in the American media. So this Sacramento Kings has the best offensive numbers. De'Aaron Fox is being cited as the clutch player. It's a young squad. It's a hungry squad. Young in terms of experience, not in terms of age. I'm expecting them to give a good showing. Expecting to provide a nice test. I won't say 5. I'll say Golden State in 6. What I want people to remember, so I think a lot will hinge on the state of mind of Andrew Wiggins, Chris. If what it is being rumored that he was out for is indeed what he was out for, you know how it is in basketball, in the basketball world. Man, I got heckle you while you're on the court, especially when you guard him or him guard you. You're going to get that from the opposition. His state of mind and how he deals with that, saying someone will take that and turn it into fuel for your fire. Someone will, wins under the mental strain and the mental pressure. So a lot will be determined in terms of his play. They need him.
This series don't need Wiggins for me.
They're not going to need him that much in this. They might need him, guys. Because think they're not going to need defense. Payton, obviously, and Fox, as you say. Draymond Green has been doing something I never seen him do. Sure, it's very encouraging. Draymond Green has been scoring the basketball. I like that for the Warriors.
Pioneer, I watch a matchup with Kings and Warriors this season. Yeah. Looney marking Fox, and Fox cannot do nothing to him. Can you imagine Looney and Fox cannot do nothing to him? Fox basically didn't know what to do with the ball.
Fox overrated.
I'm telling you, I don't know
Golden State. Golden State has been showing some promising. Go ahead.
Just telling you that even if Wiggins doesn't show up, and I'm not hinging this on if Wiggins show up or not. Yeah. Wiggins don't have to play. You have a weapon call. You have a weapon call pool party that he doesn't play with people.
Because slide through the end. I think. All right. So, and the most encouraging sign for me is Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is back being Klay Thompson. Shooting, as I mentioned earlier, he's leading the league in 3-point. Over 300 threes on the season. His defending is coming out nicely. Looking like Klay Thompson of old on both ends of the court. very encouraging sign. Obviously, Peyton being back, looking sharp already. I think that Steph kind of geared it down a little bit in the regular season. I look for him amp it up. Draymond is scoring, encouraging sign. I look for him turn it up defensively in the playoff also. DiVincenzo, like him as a defender, like I think he's a big-hearted player. I kind of rate this youth from him there the box. He has been in the Warriors, and Steve Kerr have a little faith in him. I like him. Great defensive player.
Play a winning ball from him there. Remember, he played for Villanova and played for the championship, so he know winning basketball.
Tough, very tough play. Preacher, you mentioned the depth, and that is true. Kuminga has come into his own and is looking like the star that a lot of people expect him to be. Saying so, big plus again for the Warriors. And when you go further down the bench, concerning for me though, Chris, is Jordan Poole. We all know the talent of this dude. Funny enough, when I think about it, it's funny enough that the two people where me have concern about is the two men who get the money last year, Poole and Wiggins. These are two men who were heartily paid for Golden State last year, and them are the two men who have concern with. If Poole needs to come up, I heard Steph said something in an interview earlier in the season. We could play the basketball with purpose. Let us know what we are doing. And I think sometimes Jordan Poole get, especially in a late game situation, he gets caught out as in wanting to do too much, and oftentimes turns over the ball and put the Warriors in precarious situations.
Nice. Pioneer, did you see the game when they beat Philly with it?
Yeah, man, he played a good game, but that is Poole. You get that version of him one day. You get that version of him one day, and you get a different version of him another day.
He seems to be a playoff guy, though. I expect him to shine another playoff, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Poole is a good problem to have, Pioneer, because if Jordan Poole is leading your second team against anybody else on the second team from the other team, you're looking at somebody who can take over an entire game and win it for you while stepping on the bench.
My concern for him, though, Preacher, is in late game situations, because they're gonna be late game situation where Coach Kerr go for the 3-guard combo with him, Steph and Clay, along with Draymond and Looney, or possibly if you have Looney, they might have GP in it as a small center, as man they want to call him. So Poole in a them late game situation there gives me a little cause to pause sometimes because of decision making. But I don't anticipate that being a big problem in this first round series. I want to give you a little bit of stats and facts. What's not stats? Facts, gentlemen. It is an intriguing prospect for the Golden State Warriors. No 6 seed has won the NBA since 1995. Is it when Houston won their second year? No 6 seed has won the NBA title. Since
and it won't happen this year again.
All right.
That's funny. You know what's true though, Pioneer? Between seeds number 4 and 8 in the West, it's just 2 games separate them, or 3 games. So in reality, is Golden State a genuine 6 seed? I wouldn't even think Golden State is a genuine.
Interesting.
Let me tell you what happened that year when Houston was a 6 seed is because Hakeem did sit out a whole heap of games and they asked him to the playoff.
You're right. But interestingly to note, gentlemen, the Golden State Warriors has not lost a playoff series in the Western Conference since 2014. That's 10 years.
Yeah, because they've been going to the finals or not making the playoffs.
There you go. There you go. But the two times they have lost. Yeah, 2 years that they missed the playoff.
Yeah.
And the 2 times that they lost in the finals, the Eastern Conference team. But those are just 2 interesting facts that I think are note. Make up the finals this year, but if they beat Philly, I'm high on the Golden State. So make we look at the other series, gentlemen, that has already been decided, which is the Los Angeles Lakers. No, we're going to look at the second. We're going to look at the 2 seed. Well, yeah, we are looking at
we can look at Lakers.
2 versus 7, which is, and we have to close off with this series. The Los Angeles Lakers versus the Memphis Grizzlies. And Chris, we know you have a mouthful to say about this. I heard you on the radio today, my brethren. So we are going to jump up with you. How you see this going, my brethren? Give me your prognostics on this and how you think what could happen and when it could happen and how it could happen. Floor is yours, my brethren.
we just get a little warm up of what Memphis can look like, and we see that in the Timberwolves. Timberwolves played the Memphis Grizzlies last year in the playoffs, and Timberwolves basically just couldn't close games. They were up as much as 13 games. You cannot do that with AD and LeBron James. They just cannot do that. They cannot find themselves down 30 or 20 in no game and expect that they're going to come back and win, especially more than one game. You're not going to do that. And pressure is on Memphis to win this first game, because what I know about LeBron James teams is that the first game he normally basically feel out teammates, see who is willing to come with him and AD basically, because he's sure of AD, but he's not. I think he's probably sure of Schroeder now, and see that Schroeder is a real dog and really wants to come with him. But D'Angelo Russell and Beasley is a problem because they are good shooters, are streaky shooters, but they didn't turn up against Timberwolves. But for Memphis, they must think that they are young. They did well in the season, and Ja is unstoppable. They're gonna probably have the defensive player of the year, Jaren Jackson Jr. Yeah, so they're gonna like their chances. But I think Lakers win this first game. Memphis is in trouble, and 5 games is probably too much too. If Memphis give up game 1, preacher. Remember, Memphis give up game 1. 5 games is too much. Pressure is on them, just like
You're funny, Chris.
Pressure is on Memphis to win this first game, because I'm telling you, game 1 when LeBron is playing is a feel-out game, and when you normally let him get that game,
Chris,
he can cause trouble.
Chris being comedic.
Give me 1 second, preacher. Let me ask you a question. I mean, and well, just give me a straight answer. Based on what you saw of the Los Angeles Lakers in the last game they played against the Minnesota Timberwolves, you see anything in there that encourages you in terms of them playing against Memphis?
Yes,
yeah.
It's something that is not in the NBA. Defense.
Okay.
That lockdown defense where Minnesota couldn't score. Yes, that's what they want in the NBA.
Yeah.
When they switch defense on Ja,
Pioneer, I need to go next, man.
when they switch defense on Ja, and the one thing I didn't point out, preacher, I don't want no one to come here and complain about foul trouble, because you can go to your bed and wake up, and that's going to happen in this series. Jackson Jr. thinks he's the best defender, and he wants to get his hand on every ball, and that's why he's going to be in foul trouble. So I don't want to hear because he's in foul trouble, and I don't want to hear it. I'm telling you that he is going to be in foul trouble every game. So just live with it.
For the record, people, Brandon Clark and what's his name? Steve Adams out for the Memphis Grizzlies out of this series. 2 critical losses. Adams, obviously, you know what he does on the boards. I think he's a loss for the Memphis Grizzlies team. Preacher.
Reggie, Chris Lynch. Chris Lynch knows the ratings that yesterday, but Chris Lynch now tell the full truth. The Lakers' lockdown defense actually came into effect when Cat was on the bench because he was in foul trouble. Right?
Okay.
So this idea that the Lakers defense, all right, since the trade, since the All-Star break, Lakers has been the number 1 defensive team. All right? But who has the Lakers been playing? Who has the Lakers been playing during that stretch? Lakers has not played a team that is above 500 with their starting players. That's a fact.
The last 4 games, they played against teams who were resting their players. Actually.
Exactly. Right? Now, when you look at the Minnesota game, to be honest with you, I don't think you can use that as a barometer to determine how the Memphis series will go for the Lakers, because it's a desperation game. That game was a desperation game. Both teams wanted to avoid having to play again, right? So you're going to put your best foot forward. Now you're in a 7-game series. You know, you can really start to kind of see what you can try and adjustments will be made. What I will say though is this. The key to the series is going to be D'Angelo Russell. LeBron is going to get his. AD is going to get his. But will D'Angelo Russell be able to put somebody on Ja Morant, slow Ja Morant down any at all, while at the same time contributing offensively? That's going to be the key to this thing. Schroeder will come in back in the late parts of the game. Austin Reeves will be doing what Austin Reeves usually does, streaky player. But D'Angelo Russell was brought to the Los Angeles Lakers to provide the Lakers with that third option. Mm-hmm. And if D'Angelo Russell is not the third option in this series, Lakers not going to win the series. Dennis Schroeder actually gives you one very good game every 3 games or every 4 games. So if you're going to be in a 7-game series and he's going to play like that, then you're going to be out of the series after game 4.
You get the second good game in a game 8.
Yeah. So the Memphis Grizzlies, if I'm Memphis coach, I'm telling Ja Morant and company to run these Lakers out of the stadium. LeBron and AD can't run with you. They can't run with you. They will get their numbers in the half court. But if you turn this into a transition basketball game, you're gonna turn it into a trap meet, and you're gonna force LeBron and AD to do what they don't want. They don't want to run you down. And that's what I think Memphis needs to do and will do. And so I'm giving Memphis in 7 games. Memphis winning the series.
Memphis in 7. Gavin.
Yep. I can see that. If Memphis win the first game, I can.
No long time. But quickly, Memphis in 5.
Hold on, gentlemen. Hold on, Gavin. Welcome the Godfather Diego to the stream. We are being joined by Diego. Diego, welcome to the region.
Yes, indeed. You know, I'm in the big city. You don't know, New York.
Diego, I'll give you a chance to chime in, Diego. But before you chime in, let me hear Gavin's view on this Memphis versus LA series. And Diego, we're coming to you next on the same subject.
No problem, man.
All right, so Gavin,
give me Gavin the show. Make Gavin go and deal with the thing.
All right, so Gavin, tell me how you see
the series. Yes, Diego, big up yourself. Welcome, Diego.
Yeah, man, big up genius. Big up.
I see you rush show. No giggling thing. Yo, I go on, pioneer. I met Diego talk. I'm going to stay long. This series is Memphis in 5 at the most.
Memphis in 5? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, Diego. Go ahead, Diego.
No, they don't know, you know. Me resort to when it comes to the prediction, because I'm going to follow it bar to bar. I want to go Diego, but they're going to follow things certain way.
Yeah.
We don't really get into the prediction. There's a question I want to ask about my team for the New York haters out there. You know the ones that hate New York, you know, the Knickerbockers.
All right, we have discussed that already, but we can give you a minute or two. Go ahead, what the question you have?
Yeah, but no, man, let us go and get to the experts, you, because Chris Lynch is there, and you else is there. You and Chris Lynch are who?
Chris Lynch, preacher.
Preacher.
Yeah, G-Star was here earlier, but him hopped out of the stream right now. And Gavi is here
no problem.
Gavi is here as a layman expert, if there's such
Gavi's a Patrick Mahomes expert.
He's a layman expert.
Yeah,
but to be here to Gavi.
You know the diaspora.
All right, so
you know the diaspora from 1973, we don't know, so 50 years, so you know we're hungry.
All right, a little small synopsis of what we had discussed earlier regarding the New York Knicks. All of us here are excited about that series, Cleveland versus New York. Cleveland having the home court, being the 4th seed. But everybody here, based on the predictions, kind of had this series going 7 games. Even the persons in the comment section, a couple of people had it New York in 7, and a couple of us, myself, have it Cleveland in 7. But this is going to be an exciting series. For some key pieces, I got to the key pieces to the puzzle to New York, Diego. People like RJ Barrett, Julius Randle. We call them young veterans at this time. Well, Julius Randle is becoming a true. But RJ Barrett is a young veteran for me. The play of those people, and when we look down the New York roster, Diego, whilst they don't possess a genuine superstar, there's a lot of star quality players on their roster. So if they find a consistent form and these guys come to the party every night, New York has a chance in the series. However, on the other side of the thing over by Cleveland, for me, I think Donovan Mitchell are going to be the best player of the series. And I think that, for me, are going to determine the series. Size and people like Darius Garland too, and him play around the rim. I think it's going to be critical for Cleveland. I have Cleveland in 7, but I wouldn't be surprised if New York dug in the ball, Diego. I don't have a puncher's chance, but I have Cleveland in 7.
That's what we want here, you know. So, but I love for you, Chris Lynch and Marcus Garvey and Preacher prediction. You done pretty against the side, but we are the other 3 genius.
New York in 7,
No.
Diego.
Garvey has New York in 7, Diego.
And
Garvey has New York in 7, Roman Preacher.
Well, we have Cleveland. Cleveland winning the series. Actually 6.
Preacher have Cleveland in 6, Diego.
Okay, all right. The young genius now, Chris Lynch.
Chris is off the stream for a little bit, Diego.
Yeah, Diego, defensively, I just think Cleveland is a better defensive team. They have shot blocking. Garland and Mitchell also offensively to me are a better offensive pairing than Randall and Brunson. I mean, McGee Randall a lot of ratings. He's a former Laker, and so I'm a special player.
Hold on, the Preacher. You said someone will think this right, but Garvey and Pioneer can go into. Don't you have a better ranking defense than Cleveland?
No, I said to me, Cleveland is better defensively.
Regular season, yes, Diego, but you know that
no, what about to your opinion? You know, what about
regular season, yes. New York Knicks have a better defensive rating right now than Cleveland. Regular season, no, Diego.
Yeah, I mean, fine, but that's the only barometer we can use. Hold on. The only barometer we can use is the regular season. So if you're saying stats-wise, New York is ranked higher defensively, fine. When I watch the basketball games that I've watched, right, Cleveland has one of the better shot blockers in the game. Cleveland.
Yeah, but that's all Preacher, that's all he does. He's like Rudy Gobert. They stand in one spot and wait to block shots. That don't make you a great defender.
Thank you, God. But Preacher, why if the NBA ranking in the regular season 82 game have Knicks better, why are you saying they are better? That what parameters you're using unless you bias this up?
Because I've watched the Cleveland Cavaliers play defensively, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, in terms of shot blocking, which is one element of defensive ranking, it's not the full scope of what you rank a defense with. They may not force as many turnovers, they may not limit as many possessions, but when it comes down to half-court basketball, and you have somebody who can block up that lane and stop people and slow people down, which is different from regular season basketball, which is everybody running and gunning. I think Cleveland are a stronger team, in terms of how they are built defensively. That's my opinion.
Well, I don't know, but you're putting enough of a common sense. But why you dissect it? You're never asked who's a better prime minister.
All right, so why is New York a better defense? Diego, why is New York better defensively than Cleveland?
All right, gentlemen,
I'm going by the NBA ranking.
All right, who's the number 1 ranked defensive team in the NBA?
There are times when I watch games, and it took Preacher's point. There are times when I watch games and teams where, just like how we were talking about the Kings earlier, Diego, the NBA has the Kings, the Sacramento Kings, as the greatest offensive team in the history of the NBA. This year's regular season, Sacramento Kings.
Pioneer, you're not going to further. You're giving your personal opinion. Once our next man can't tell me, Garvey can't tell me something different.
No, I know.
I said, why instant Knicks is a better defense?
No, because
so my argument is, why are you guys, what is the reason? You guys are going away from the NBA ranking, and that's how I know. No playoffs might change it.
No, but I'm saying to you,
it's all like a New York bias. That's all.
No, it's not a bias. Diego, it's not a bias. And when you watch the series, you're going to see it play itself out.
Sometimes you watch the Kings, Diego, and what the ranking state doesn't reflect in the actual basketball.
Preacher, I'm telling you, honestly, this is the guy that Jared Allen, Preacher.
Yeah.
Even though all that, Preacher. Listen, you see now, hold on there, Diego, hold on there. Hold on, Preacher.
Go ahead,
Hold on, Preacher.
What
Yeah,
I
man,
have
here it goes.
found is that in the history of the NBA, I'm gonna call a name to you. Listen to this name, preacher. There was
Yeah.
a guy named Mark E. You remember that name?
Yeah.
If you go and you check the all-time black rankings in the NBA, them man the most ranking at the top 5. But believe me, preacher, nobody could ever mistake them man for a great defensive player ever. Because and then you're gonna have even Rudy Gobert. When Rudy Gobert retires, he's gonna be up there with all-time blacks, you know. But nobody can trick themselves and think Rudy Gobert is a great defender.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Garvey. But guess what? The stats actually have Cleveland Cavaliers for the 2022-2023 season with the best team defensive ranking. And I never even looked on the stats when I said it, you know. I was just making reference to the games I watched with Cleveland, New York. No, hold on. Yeah, on Stat Muse, may I look on.
Stat Muse, okay.
But New York Knicks, the New York Knicks, hold on now, Diego, man. The New York Knicks.
So you disagree with Pioneer?
No, because all right. Diego, I was looking at a different ranking. That had New York up at 3rd in the defensive ranking. All right, Preacher is saying no, he's looking at Cleveland. Preacher is saying Cleveland was about 6th or 7th. Preacher is saying no, he's looking at Stat Muse, and Stat Muse has Cleveland as the number 1 ranked defense.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it now. You can go on it and check it yourself.
So that means whichever one they have ranked as 2 defensive teams, right?
Go again, Garvey.
I'm saying that means, but judging by all the stats we want to present, there are both 2 good defensive teams, right?
Yeah, man. No, man. I'm not saying New York is a bad defensive team. But just think Cleveland is a better defense.
I feel even more confident in my pick now because when I tell the preacher, New York have better scoring. You see the scoring in New York, New York have 2 front court players who you can depend on for scoring, you know. Randall and Barrett, you know.
Brunson.
And then now with the trade with
Brunson is the front court scorer.
And then with Brunson coming in the back court now, he might be able to balance out some of that dominance that Cleveland have over them in the back court. So
I get you.
Garvey.
Yes, sir.
Garvey. One thing them get them have that one, no, Randall not playing, you know, so them have that, so Pioneer and Preacher now, the prediction might come out, because Randall is out. And then
he's out.
When they got the news,
Yeah, it's unlikely. It's not likely that he's going to play for the first game. They're not sure if he's going to come.
Likely, yes.
For the first game, or for the entire series?
No, man, not for the series. I don't think it's
the first game, the crucial, man.
All right, but
nah, man, them can't scrub it up for a game.
That means he's not 100%.
All right.
Fair.
The one thing though,
Pioneer is not 100%.
Sure.
The one thing though with New York is that in the regular season, New York played them 3 times and beat them all 3 times, which means that going into the playoffs, the New York Knicks should be confident, right? They should have a level of confidence that we can beat this team. Yeah, it may not mean none, but when you beat a team 3 times, you're confident say you can play them money. Mentally, you probably are going at the series with a little more confidence. If you lose 3 now.
For me, it's the Eastern Conference series, first round series, but most I look forward to.
Yeah, very exciting series.
Very exciting. I expect it to be. I would not be surprised if either team won the series. I go with Cleveland because I have them as my dark horse team in the Eastern Conference. I like the team.
All right, guys.
Yeah, man.
Do me a favor. When G-Star and Christian tune in, remember here for the prediction now.
I think G-Star picked Cleveland in 7.
Cleveland in 7. All right.
Okay.
Only me and find that shot.
Give thanks.
Yeah, man. Enough love, Diego. Enough love, brother.
All right. So, gentlemen, let me give my like a quick synopsis and preview of the Grizzlies and Lakers. A very, very hotly anticipated series. I've been bantering some people and saying I'm gonna give Lakers a chance in the series. Obviously this is basketball. The ball is round. Every team has a chance in a series. All right. I give Lakers a 30% chance in the series. There are a couple of factors that are working against the Lakers. So, youth and athleticism. That's something you can't replicate. You can't buy at the last minute. But things that Memphis, for some time they have been classifying themselves as a dynasty. It's a dynasty that has not manifested yet, but who think them is a dynasty. But I like what I'm seeing from these youngsters in recent games. They have kind of quieted down on the rhetoric. They are playing basketball. They have had a good run in at the end of this regular season. I think them rearing in confidence. Them want it. I think they are very hungry. Heard Dylan Brooks in an interview say, he's not objected or opposed to playing LeBron James. The first round, he's looking forward to it. And he said it would be a good test for them in the first round. And they are looking forward to knocking him out in the first round and moving on. I think that if I put him money where mouth, he's going to be one of the primary defenders. And LeBron James, how am I going to handle that? Let's see. Defensively, I think Memphis, even though the stats might show, Lakers been the number one defense since the
Memphis are probably ranked 1 or 2 overall. This season. They're ranked just below Cleveland, or depending on which site you lose, Memphis is 1 or 2.
There you go. But I think come this playoff, Memphis are going to step it up a notch defensively. For me, LA has no answer for Ja Morant. I can't see who them will use guard him. I can't see how them are going to stop him. AD will probably block a few shots at the rim, but Ja Morant, as we know, versatile offensive player. Get into the paint at will and have many different ways of scoring. For me, one job team, he has fallen off from the 3-point line a little bit this year. I think he must shoot 30% on the year, down from about 36% that he was shooting last year. Fall off, but I don't know. He's a big-hearted player. I expect him to rise to the occasion. I have not been impressed with the Lakers in the last part of the regular season. I think them lack fluidity. They're going to need that. They're going to need some players to come to the fore. D'Angelo Russell have to play big this series, for them having a chance. I don't think LeBron and AD alone can carry the load for them to beat this team. Jarrett Jackson Jr., as Christian mentioned earlier, are going to be a monster at the paint. Foul trouble. We had seen that from him before. I don't think the coach can afford for him to be in foul trouble in consistent games in this series. He might have coached that out of Jarrett Jackson Jr. for me. The loss of Adams and what's the name of the other youngster? The two players that are out for them are going to be a little bit, concerning. But for me, they have enough to win this series. They have Memphis in 6. I can't see. I look at it. I can't see Lakers springing the upset. But when we look on it and turn it up, left, right, and center, I have Memphis in 6.
Yeah, right, I'm thinking about it, Pioneer. You're right. If Memphis winning the series is 6, Lakers winning the series is 7. If it goes to a game 7, Lakers are going to win. But Memphis, because I think, you see, when you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis playing against a less experienced bunch of guys in a 7th game.
Not inexperienced, but less experience.
Less experience, yeah. In 7 games, would I give the edge to LeBron them in the 7? I initially said Memphis in 7, but I'll change that to say Memphis in 6. Yeah.
All right. D Cohen, but just give it to you. I have Memphis in 6. For me, it's going to be an exciting series. I expect some close games in the series, but I have the Memphis Grizzlies winning in 6. The opposition for the Nuggets haven't been decided yet. We'll know that tomorrow. And we'll probably do a show either Saturday or Sunday. So we'll probably review some games that have been played. If I do the show Sunday, we'll review some games that have been played Saturday. Or if we do the show Saturday, we'll preview. By then we'll know the entirety of the playoff picture, and we will preview the series or whenever preview now, and probably look at a few more things in depth. All right. So people, was great. Preacher, we'll give thanks in the bridging. Don't stay too far. We'll call upon you upon a regular. Say.
Yeah, man, we're there, man.
Love having you on these podcasts.
Yeah, man. I'm big up the man, man. We love the energy. Garvey and Chris Lynch and G-Star and Diego chime in and Pioneer. Yeah, man. We love the energy, man. We want to keep it that way.
We'll give thanks. So I say, and people, as I said, it's been an all-star cast. These are some of the voices you hear on Jamaican Talk Radio. Knowledgeable all around, sporting fans at heart, basketball fans at heart. And, you know, it's good to be back on this platform. It's good to have another show around the NBA. We give thanks to all the people that have been in the stream. D. Cohen, big up. Leighton Cornwall, Harriman, say one king. If I know that king, a Burger King. Gunners